right. Welcome to the St. Louis podcast for September 1st, 2023. I'm your glorious host today, Eric Brown, partner and chief sales officer at Vi Media. Today we have Russ Clark, the creator of St. Louis Kolache, on the St. Louis podcast, and we're going to get into the weeds with him and his business. But before we do, this is the St. Louis podcast, where each and every Friday at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time, we drop an episode on all major podcasting, audio, and video platforms, where we meet with the most badass people and creators to talk about business, entrepreneurship, and current events. Now let's jump into it. Russ, how you doing today?
Fantastic.
You could have had a better morning, it sounds like.
Start a little rough. Yeah. We were surprised at 2:00 in the morning by a smash and grab at our Southwest store, but I do have to say they were very polite. You know, they didn't mess anything up too much. They came in and broke the glass out very small, and they knew what they were doing. They unplugged everything real nice. They didn't destroy all the wires, and
so it sounds like that's not even an insurance claim.
No, I mean I have to buy a couple new cash drawers and fix the window. So I mean it's we had that happen in Creve Coeur about 6 years ago.
Really?
And the guy was just a rank amateur and broke out the front door, so he had to buy a new door frame and get that fixed, and then just grab the whole POS system and yanked it out.
The whole thing, screened everything.
Screened everything. So, I had to redo all the wiring and stuff underneath the counter. But these guys were pros, in and out, and didn't leave a big mess.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's so odd how what people get away with now, because I don't remember back in the day. My dad owned a business for a long time, and I feel like stealing was more prevalent from like your employees than someone actually coming in and like robbing you. And now it's just the balls on people are insane.
It's a business.
Yeah.
I'm sure it wasn't their first one of the night.
No, 100% not. Yeah. So when you talked to the cops about this, or did you?
Oh, we did. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. They came in fingerprinted and did all the normal stuff they try to do. But, is it ever going to go any further than that?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, my thought process at least is, hopefully if this guy did it or whatever enough times, that they have that fingerprint somewhere and eventually they can track him down. But
there's
so many issues.
Like I said, these guys look like pros. The first guy in Creve Coeur left the cash register in his trunk.
Yeah.
And he got pulled over months later and still had the stuff in his trunk.
So that's not the most brilliant guy on the planet.
Yes.
Versus last night.
Yep. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, like I said, could have been worse.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just one of the breaks of the games.
Yep. Well, as we said, we got Russ Clark on, the creator of St. Louis Kolache, a locally owned kolache shop with a variety of flavors. As you can see, we got the spread out in front of us today. Past work includes Al Baker's and a 10-year stint at Morton's. How did I ruin one of my favorite steak spots? Involved in, it sounds like you owned a couple of the Cecil Whitaker franchises as well. Total Catering St. Louis. So you've been around and done a lot of things as far as restaurants are concerned.
It's been a long journey.
Yes.
A fun journey.
So take me back. I want to know about Al Baker's. It says you waited on people like Marilyn Manson, Nine Inch Nails, Kid Rock, the Eagles, the Beach Boys, the Prince of Saudi Arabia. All right, where was this?
That was actually at Morton's.
Okay.
That would they had the Ritz-Carlton right down the street.
Yes.
So everybody would walk up the street, and that was in the great days of Morton's when you could smoke cigars in the dining room, and was a great place. Saw all the sports stars, all the rock stars. I mean, it was just endless. But the Prince of Saudi Arabia was the most interesting.
How big was his crew?
It was about 20 people.
Yeah.
He came in town to buy, I think, 60 aircraft from Boeing.
Really?
And he was going to fly one home, actually.
Himself.
Himself. Yeah. He had the bodyguards outside, But, the awesome thing about it was when it came time to pay the bill, I think the bill was like $15,000, and they just paid cash. I mean, the biggest wad of cash I've ever seen in my life. Just, how much is it? Oh, $15,000? Yep, there you go.
At that point, you'd think that they can just ask for like $1,000 bill or something.
Yeah.
Like, I'm tired of carrying around these hundreds.
Yeah.
This is
it was
ridiculous.
crazy. The guys from Boeing's like, when they land, they went right to Plaza Frontenac. They buy all their stuff. They don't bring any luggage. And when they leave, they just leave it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's a wild life.
It is a wild life.
So what do you think all those planes were for? Just private flying?
No, I think they were like fighter planes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Military.
Okay.
Yep.
That also makes sense.
Yep.
We do send plenty of stuff over to them for
We
that.
we send stuff everywhere.
Yes, yeah.
Or it's a big business.
That is true. All right, so it sounds like as a kid, you sold lobsters with your grandfather. So take me back. Take me back to your first food experience. My first food experience is working with my dad in a deli. So let's bring it back to yours. Did that kind of lead you on the path of being like, hey, I actually enjoy doing this?
Looking back, it probably did.
Mm-hmm.
We moved to Florida on a whim.
Okay.
My grandma and grandpa were meat cutters for Schnucks.
Mm-hmm.
And we went down to Florida on vacation. And they were tired of working in the cold and, dealing with the heavy sides of beef. And when we went down there, we found this little duplex down there for rent. And my dad and my grandparents were like, let's just move to Florida. And they were like, okay, just on a whim.
Yep.
And my grandpa bought a lobster tank down there right on the dock, and the guys would come in with the lobster boats. And he built that little lobster tank into a 1,000 square foot seafood shack right on the intercoastal. So every day after school was coming over, gutting fish, peeling shrimp, hauling ice. But it's just a fun business to be in.
Yeah.
It's not like a real job.
Yeah.
What
do you mean by that? What do you mean by real job?
The restaurant business for me, I could never sit in an office.
Yeah.
And put on a suit and tie and just stare at a computer all day. Working in a restaurant seems like you're somewhere goofing around.
Yep.
And getting paid for it. I mean,
it was
the
fun
funnest job. I miss waiting tables.
Yeah.
I mean, there's times when Bart and I sit and talk about how much fun it was I'd like to go work a couple shifts at Morton's just for the fun of it. There's different people every night.
Do you think they'd let you back?
New. Oh yeah,
for a night or two.
Yeah,
just
probably.
Be like, hey,
maybe
I want to serve.
Yeah, I think I still have my tux. I probably couldn't fit in it. Too many kolaches over
Are
the
they
years.
still wearing tuxes at Morton's?
The maitre d' does.
Okay.
And when we left, I mean, Bart and I were both boardroom captains, so we worked the private rooms a lot and had to wear it.
All right, you just said maitre d'.
Maitre d'. Yep.
What does that mean?
He's the head person at Morton's.
Okay.
That kind of seats people. They don't have like a hostess. They have a maitre d' that kind of greets you.
Gotcha. Okay.
Fancy host.
Okay, that makes makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Back in the old days, they had maitre d's everywhere.
Yeah.
In the old movies where you slipped them $100 to get in and get me the good table.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
Are they still in the same spot?
No,
they've moved, right?
They are down at the boat, down at the River City Casino.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so they moved into River City.
Down where Four Seasons is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. They changed their whole vibe.
Yeah.
They got bought out by, the guy that owns just about every other restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
The Fertitta.
Yeah.
And he changed it all up. They went from playing Frank Sinatra to light techno and it's just.
Well, what's an old school spot now?
Oh man, I think
like Tony's still.
Well, Tony's is about as old
school
moved. As you're going to get.
They just moved. I haven't been to the new spot in
into
Clayton.
The Centene building.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for steakhouses, I mean, it's Ruth Chris, Capitol Grill.
Yeah.
You
See, my thing is, I cook a pretty damn good steak, I think. And I forget who we were talking to about the best steakhouse, and he was like, my backyard, and I was like, there we go. I don't know. I've been to.
I don't think so, man.
You don't think so?
To go to an old school steakhouse is for me, it's the best.
Yeah, I like going to Citizen Cane's when I can find my way over in Kirkwood.
It's a great place. Yeah, I mean, great steak. I mean, when you go to an old gangster style steakhouse where it's dark and a lot of wood, and, it's just man, those are good times.
Al's is one of those places, right?
I've never been to Al's.
Okay, neither have I. Yeah. I've always wanted to go over there, and apparently it's just I don't know if people still go there, but it was like this spot for people that didn't want to be seen, essentially, to go, like celebrities and things like that. But I've never made my way over there. It's in a weird. It almost looks like it's kind of abandoned.
Yeah.
And it backs up to that whole abandoned like factory back there.
Yeah,
which is,
and you got barbed wire around the parking lot. And,
yeah.
Al Baker's was awesome. Al Baker's is probably one of my favorite restaurants.
So where was that at?
Right across from the Galleria, that big CVS pharmacy used to be Al Baker's.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What kind of restaurant was Al Baker's? How long ago are we talking?
We are talking 92.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
92. So through the 80s and 90s, I mean, it was there for about 25 years. I think.
Okay.
And it was tuxedo and tableside. Where you get your Caesar salad made tableside, bananas Foster, and I mean it was the legendary place.
What happened to it? Get bought out?
I don't think they. Yeah,
Just
I
fell
don't
out
think
of
they
prime.
could do a new lease.
Yeah.
Like they obviously knew they had some big retail fish on the line, and
Yeah.
it's a shame because man, that place was.
Why didn't they try and move? They're just like,
I think
whatever.
they've been in the business so long.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they were just like, I think we're done. It was a good run.
I think there's something nice about like getting dressed and like going and doing something like that, because I feel like we're almost too relaxed now.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It's almost like now you go on planes, right? People used to say, obviously, pictures of planes in the 70s and 80s, like you'd wear a suit to get onto a plane, which nowadays, now, just to be clear, I have done it for work, but like I would prefer definitely not to fly in a suit, because that's not the most, for a couple hours in a plane, it's not the best thing on the planet to
see
be
people
wearing
in
a suit.
pajamas on a plane.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, it is. It's
You see people with
the way it is.
their feet out.
Yeah.
Next to, you ever seen the photos of people flying and like the person's foot will be like up on their footrest, or like the hair will be over? People are just, I don't know. People are just fucking rude, I guess. I don't know. It's an odd thing. All right. Anyways, so yeah, there's really no like. You were talking about Al Baker's being like they serve at food side, like right next to your table.
Yep.
I think is Tony's the only spot that still does that.
Probably.
Yeah, because I don't know any other restaurant
You may
that
be
does
able
that.
to find a few dishes around town, somewhere that do specialty dishes like that.
Yeah.
Something. But man, that was the last old school.
Yeah, it's like
Al Baker's came out of like Goodfellas. I mean, it was awesome. They had a maitre d' there. I can't remember the guy's name, but he was huge. And they had a bar there, the piano bar, that was just legendary. I mean, it was.
They always
amazing.
have music going.
It was dark, piano player. You had appetizers there for happy hour, and it was just. It seriously looked like Goodfellas. You just never knew who was going to roll in there. And
This sounds like a magical spot that's no longer.
It was. It was probably one of the coolest spots you'd ever roll into.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What's that spot now for you?
Man, I've got kids. I don't go out to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair.
But I
when
know,
you do go out to eat,
I know a lot of the places, people around town and stuff. Man, I still like to eat steak.
yeah, same.
I think
yeah.
I'd probably go to Annie Gunn's. That place
Mm-hmm.
has still got the old world,
It does.
cool wood vibe. And
Yep.
Lou Rook out there I've known him he used to come into Morton's all the time, and a great guy.
I'm just glad
Great
they
food.
didn't get rid of those little booths that they have
Yeah,
on the entrance side of
but you
Annie
can shut
Gunn's.
the door. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm glad when they remodeled they didn't get rid of those.
Yep.
Because I love those. I don't know what it is. It's just old school. I've had meetings in there and it's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
The old school stuff is great.
Yeah.
I mean, it's.
Have you been there since they remodeled?
I have not.
Yeah, neither have I. I need to get over there. They spent a pretty penny on expanding that. But I'm
Yeah.
assuming now do you think why do you think they decided to do it now? COVID, you got Ruth Chris up the hill. Or you just think
Business must be good.
Yeah.
Place is packed all the time.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
It's been there for, man, I couldn't tell you how long it's been there.
Yeah.
It's a staple.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just been there forever. So it's just it seemed like an interesting time. Ruth Chris started being built, and then all of a sudden they started expanding, and I was like, maybe this isn't the catalyst, but it seems,
People like to eat out.
Yeah, they do.
That's one thing COVID taught me is people will stay at home and eat in for about a week and a half.
Yeah.
That's about the limit.
Yep.
Like,
I like cooking steak, but I would agree. Like I can't cook 20 meals well.
yeah,
I can't.
yeah. You can't cook a steak as good as Morton's does or Capital Grill.
We'll have to put it up to comparison. You're probably right though.
It's just the ambiance.
It's not the same. Yeah.
It's not the same.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
They have 1,000-degree grills.
Yeah, that's true.
That searing that good steak. I mean, it's just there's nothing better. Good New York strip from Morton's was
That's strip is my thing.
I can like see the gears turning in your head. You want to turn your own kitchen into like a small Morton's and cook your own steak.
No,
to
I'm
compare.
literally like getting so hungry for steak.
I'm
It's
sitting
insane,
here
man.
just picturing it as he was sitting there. I
Yeah.
was sitting there watching because Morton's had that cool open kitchen.
Yeah.
So you
yeah.
could you could watch the guys throw the steaks on the grill. And they'd have that awesome stove. It was like a 1,000-degree grill.
Yeah.
And they'd drop it down and put new steaks on there and lift it back up. You see the fire just blazing in there, and I could just smell it. It was just like, what a gift for one of those New York strips.
All right. We're good.
Cut.
We got all of this, and we're talking about steak.
Yeah, that's
so
okay.
funny. Okay, so now let's talk about this.
Mhm.
So, what's the history behind Kolaches? Why'd you determine to make these? What did you run into them?
Man,
Tell me about it.
we fell backwards into this business.
Mhm.
Bart and I have been business partners. Well, we worked at Morton's together since 1994.
Mhm.
And then as we worked there, we met the owner of Cecil Whitaker's. Used to always come in there. And we had dreams of opening a steakhouse because we wanted to be just like Morton's. Al Baker's kind of bring another Al Baker's. Of course, nobody's going to loan two broke waiters $1 million to open up a steakhouse.
Yep.
So Don Glenn, who we call him Mr. Cecil, was like, why don't you guys start with a pizza place? So we did. So back in 2001, we left there and opened our first franchise of Cecil Whitaker's back in 2001 up in St. Anne by the airport. And it was good. So we through those years, we had opened up 2 more through those couple of years. We had a wine bar. That was the dumbest thing I've ever done.
It seems hard to make money in a wine bar now.
The bar business stories, they say that the happiest 2 days is when you buy it and when you sell it.
Yeah.
And in between, it's awful. So take my recommendation, stay out of the booze business.
Yeah, fair enough.
Unless you're a professional at it. We actually brought one of the guys over that we worked with at Morton's. That was the wine captain at that time, who shall remain nameless. And he was going to run the wine bar. And that didn't go over so well.
Yeah.
So, and then we had the catering company. We bought a big smoker outside the pizza place, and we smoked whole hogs and prime rib and shrimp and mac and cheese. It was a good time. But back in 2013, 2014, I had some friends that moved down to Texas, and they were like, they called my wife and they're like, man, do you know what these kolaches are? They're like all over down here. And like, nope, I have no idea. I knew there was one in town, so I looked. I thought it was like chocolate.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, there's little dough balls, and they put all kinds of stuff in. I was like, well, interesting. So this is right at 2014, fall of 2014. And I turned on the Today Show one morning, and Bon Appetit magazine was on there with the top 13 food trends of 2015. Holy crap, kolaches were one of them. I'm like, man, somebody's trying to tell me something.
Yeah.
I feel a little tap on the shoulder, like, hello.
Yep.
So I had, on my way to work down to St. Anne every morning, I drive down Lindbergh Boulevard, and I always had this little spot that was an old AT&T building, and they had vacated and moved into a different spot, and it was just sitting vacant for like years. And I'm like, man, that would be great. It's in the middle of nowhere. I mean, perfect. So we gave it a shot, and got the lease, and came up with a dough recipe. And being in the food business for so long, I'm like, if somebody had some imagination,
Yeah.
they could really put together a cool product. That's kind of what we did. 7 months later, we opened a second location in Baldwin and sold to pizza places.
Gotcha. So how did the recipe, how many of your friends tried it? How many of your family tried it? How long did it take to figure out the recipes?
Took probably a couple weeks.
Yeah.
A couple weeks of constant dough making and trying this and trying that. Yeah.
What ones have you guys tried to make that ended up just being terrible? Have you ever made one you're like, this might be good, and then you're like, oh, this isn't very good?
I don't think we've made anything that's terrible. The problem is we do so many already.
Yeah.
I can't really add too many more.
Sure.
We've got the cool ones we do, like crab rangoon. That's awesome. We've got an egg roll one we've messed with, which is great. I've got like 5 or 10 more. But my managers are like, no more.
Yeah.
We can't make, we make like 1,000 of them every morning by hand.
Yep.
At each store. They're not made by machine and shipped in and unthawed.
Yeah,
and,
frozen.
I mean, we start at 2:00 in the morning, make these things, all morning.
So how do you get the dough out to all the different locations? Or is it
We
all?
just make it all there.
Okay.
Each location makes their own dough,
Okay.
makes their own stuff. So, all independent kitchens. So everything you eat there every day is made by hand by somebody.
Gotcha. Okay. So I know obviously we talked about STL Kolache. Now you're rebranding, it looks like, to American Kolache. Are you going to keep the STL Kolache name here in St. Louis?
It'll probably be STL Kolache here.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of like the Panera thing.
Sure.
We never expected it to get this big.
Mhm.
I mean, it kind of fell into it, and it's gone so well. But if I had those visions, I would have probably renamed it something else. But kind of like Panera.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So with franchise locations, obviously you talked about how every single morning the stuff is made fresh. I feel like the hardest thing for franchises is just quality control, right? So as you guys expand with franchise locations, number one, are you guys also expanding as your own locations, corporate owned, or just franchise?
Just franchises.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
4 stores is enough to handle and franchises.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So how do you keep that quality control there with, new franchises? Obviously you guys have 4 that you own, and then you already have a couple different franchises, correct? The one out in St. Charles, right?
We do. We've got 5.
Okay.
We've got one in Edwardsville, which is our first one.
There, yeah.
Then we've got one in Arnold, one in Sunset Hills, one in Cottleville, and then one down in Birmingham, Alabama.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Birmingham, Alabama.
Birmingham, Alabama.
Who do you know down there? Is it just a
Well,
random
we
inquiry?
were just talking about it. Chad Slade was a professional football player.
Okay.
He was a big Auburn football star.
Yeah.
From that area, but then played with the Houston Texans.
Mhm.
So he ate them down in Houston all the time because
Okay.
that's like the mecca of kolache down there in Texas. And we were just talking about how many he eats. He eats like 18.
Yeah,
he's 6'5", 350.
that's insane. 18
But,
of these. There's 12 in each box, just in case you guys can't count and see that.
Yeah. After practice, he said they'd head to the kolache store, and each guy would get 15, 18 kolaches, and
That's an easy way to go through like half or all of your inventory.
It's a big food budget. This guy's better make some good money.
Yeah. Well, we know they do.
Yeah. But so after he retired,
Mhm.
he played for the Giants for 4 years, and I don't think he made the squad this year. So he was looking to get into something else. So
Sure.
So his mom and stepdad and him run the kolache place now, among other things.
Gotcha.
So and then we're looking at going into O'Fallon, Illinois,
Okay.
Indianapolis, and then DC. We just had some people in from DC, outside of DC.
How do you find your franchisees? Do they usually reach out to you? Do they?
They do, but it's a business. You spend a lot of money.
Yeah.
There's you live with franchise brokers. There's people that just sell franchises.
Sure.
So,
yeah. That makes
so
sense.
they like Chad, the football player, came from a broker.
Okay.
They bring clients in, and that kind of fit. When you go to buy a franchise, they ask you, what do you want to do? How much money you want to spend?
Mhm.
What are your interests?
Sure.
Kind of match you up with a franchise that you want to do.
Makes sense. Is there like, I guess, does the broker actually look at these, or does it, at the end of the day, I'm assuming obviously they still talk to you or Bart and are like, can you still turn them down, I guess is the question. Because you want to make sure the franchisees are like.
We have the final say.
Right.
Yeah. You bring them in town for a face-to-face meeting
Mhm.
and hopefully choose good people.
Yeah. What are some things you usually look for?
You need to have somebody that just wants to follow directions.
Yeah. Okay.
Because that's
Fair.
what you're buying a franchise for.
Mhm.
You're not reinventing the wheel. I don't need a sous chef who wants to come in and open one of these and tell me how to tweak the dough and how to do this and how to do that. No, you've got the recipe. That's what you buy a franchise for.
Yep.
You're buying a successful story, successful business.
Mhm.
That's what you buy. You buy the recipe for success.
Yep. So I'd love to get your thought on this. I have discussions, not so much with franchisee owners with restaurants, but more so on the home service side of things. And it seems like a lot of them are getting to the point of being like, I don't know why, I'm paying this % of profit or revenue back to X, Y, and Z company when can just build the brand, myself, like, a restoration company or, roofing companies. There's really no big names as far as like nationwide go, but obviously restoration companies and things like that. or cleaning companies. And a lot of these owners just don't see the point now. If a lot of them have owned it for a long period of time, and they're like, why am I still paying into this system? I don't know. It's almost like there's an influx of hate. I don't know if restaurant side is the same thing, but just a lot of, maybe not hate, but disgruntlement and aggravation towards those franchisors.
Well, I would say probably when you've been in it 10, 15, 20 years and you know the business,
Yeah.
you look back and be like, oh, I could have done this myself.
Yeah.
Why didn't you?
Yeah. Yep.
But in the beginning, when you've got somebody, I've got somebody over in Edwardsville. He's awesome. His stuff is spectacular. Customer reviews are great. Food quality is awesome. Beautiful store. He was a quality control person.
Gotcha.
So he never worked a day in a restaurant business, but he could follow directions to the T. Dot all the I's, cross all the T's. And he was a perfect person because you gave him the blueprint for success.
Yeah.
Do this, do this, do this. He could have never come up with that by himself.
Yeah, that's true.
Would be like me telling him how to go build washing machines. Which I think he did. I would not have the first clue.
No
After
idea.
I learned how to
Nor
build
do I
them,
want
10
to.
years later, I thought I didn't need you. I could figure that out.
Yeah.
No, over 80% of restaurants go out of business first year.
Yeah.
So you need somebody to guide you. That's what I would say. The service sector is, I've never worked in the service sector.
Yeah.
But being a plumber or an electrician or, whatever you're doing, closet restoration or whatever. But I mean, they teach you the process. There's a lot more to just fixing a pipe.
Yes.
There's all the behind the scenes of stuff of bookkeeping, paying taxes, budgeting, marketing. I mean, it's a whole process.
Yes. Yeah. No, you're exactly right. And it's almost when the brand doesn't bring the value, right? The company doesn't bring the value, or at least to the people that I talk to that are frustrated with it. It's like, well, the SOPs, standard operating procedures and stuff like that, haven't been updated in 10 years. There's nothing new going on with the business. And I get the frustration because if you're, a home service company and your profit margin is X and you see, every single month the money going out and you're like, what am I getting back for it? I see the frustration, but also at the same point, you are right. If you never were part of the franchise, would you even be talking to me right now, right?
Yep.
Would we even be having this discussion, or would you be doing something else, right?
Yeah.
So,
but a lot of big franchises nickel and dime you. You go to Subway or Quiznos was a great story.
Yeah.
Quiznos started and blew up to like 500 stores.
Yeah.
And they decided they weren't going to get in the franchise business anymore. They were going to get in the food business. So they bought the food warehouse and started upcharging all their franchisees higher prices for everything.
Yeah.
So, when you could go to a local food person and buy a pound of turkey for say $2, Quiznos is going to hit you for like 3 or 4.
Yep.
Take all your profit. You can't make any money.
So is it the downfall of Quiznos? I haven't been there in quite a while.
Quiznos is
really,
they were up to like 2,000 stores. Now they could have several hundred.
Damn.
Yeah, that was their
I used to love Quiznos. They used to be.
Quiznos was a great sandwich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Subway's not.
Yeah.
No offense to Subway.
Oh,
It's not great. I hate, Maryland Heights, where we're at right now and where Vi is located as well. There's a Subway, and right like three doors down is Vivola's. I don't know if you've ever been there. One of the best sandwiches in St. Louis. And every single time I look at the people going into Subway and I'm like, either you don't know that this place exists or something is seriously wrong with you. Like that Subway sandwich is $10. Come over here and pay $1 more and get literally a sandwich that's
fresh made
1,000 times that Subway.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
You got Joya's right down this,
Joya's
right across the street.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sauce on the side. You got a lot of good local.
You got Jovic Brothers. And
a lot of cool places.
Why go to Subway? That's my big thing. It's like, why? And maybe this would be a good question for you. With St. Louis, obviously you're local based. Is it to the point where like a lot of the time I don't go to franchisees, like as far as I'd rather go to like, I guess, a local restaurant, right? versus X, Y, and Z, Applebee's or you know, any of those type of places. Do you think that could potentially be a problem for you outside of St. Louis, or do you not really foresee that problem?
I don't think so. Americans love their franchises.
Yeah.
You know, that's why you could have a nuclear bomb go off and the line would still be wrapped around Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
like
true.
we can make it. You know, kids will still be screaming in the SUV. You know, we need Chick-fil-A. I don't get it, but hey, obviously the branding and is awesome.
Yeah.
You know, they've done a remarkable job.
Yeah, the Chick-fil-A, I used to love Chick-fil-A. And, you know, now that I've had more chicken sandwiches, it's like, it's fine. It's okay. But I got food poisoning from there once, and I haven't been back to Chick-fil-A in like literally 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
I got food poisoning right before I went on a trip.
Well, gee, I wonder why you don't like it anymore. Then it's not like it tried to kill you or anything.
Yeah, it definitely tried to kill me. I was literally like 4 hours away from getting on a plane, and let me tell you, I didn't feel good. I was like, one last meal before getting on a plane. Yeah, not a good idea. I haven't had it since, but it never was. Their fries are always soft. They're not hot. They don't cook their fries enough. You know, I got a lot.
Who makes fries in a waffle?
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, yeah,
They're not great for
that's not a
dipping.
fry.
They're
Yeah,
not great for
that's- hey,
dipping.
who am I to criticize Chick-fil-A?
Yeah. Well, that's
Yeah, they are a behemoth.
yes, they are. If I'm getting like fast food chicken, Cane's.
I love Cane's.
Oh, look at you! What? No,
My kids love Cane's.
you're like hell. All right,
The
Katie.
Texas toast and cane sauce.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
What are you?
I could eat
what are
cane
you
sau-
talking
I could eat cane
about?
sauce on a
So
hot dog.
good. Yeah, I go there and get the 6-pack. I'm like, please give
There's
me.
not enough options on the menu.
No, simple.
It's yeah, exactly.
You can't
It's,
screw anything else up.
it's
I don't
chicken
like-
fingers.
I'm not a chicken finger gal.
Oh, okay, well that's why you don't like Cane's then.
My favorite chicken place is Popeyes.
Yeah,
Eh,
it's fine. It's fine. Popeyes is fine. Their chicken sandwich is okay.
what about,
You know,
what about KFC?
KFC used to be good. Now
Not anymore.
it's been a long time since they've been good.
It hurts my tummy.
Yeah, that's.
Well, if
They used to be like hand breaded. Don't you remember going into KFC as a child and like everything was hand breaded? It was all like you could. They're back there making it. Now it's like when was this made?
all processed stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's awful. It doesn't
You know who's got the best chicken in town? I think it's Chuck's. Chuck's Hot Chicken.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, those guys are awesome.
Which location? Are they all owned as well by the same people? There's 4 locations,
Well,
right?
they own a Cecil Whitaker's
Okay.
up in
Okay.
Maryland Heights, up on
Okay.
Dorset, and they took a spot and they started off with doing a little kitchen. I used to own that store in
Okay.
Maryland Heights.
Okay,
And
yeah.
they started off doing hot chicken back there, and oh my God, it's so good.
Yeah. Shout out Chuck's. Chuck's is amazing. Also, if you do go there and you think you can handle heat, just start low.
I get the level 1.
Yeah,
I don't, no
yeah.
level. I can't handle the hot. Yeah, the hot stuff.
The first time I ordered from there, for some reason, was, I think it was for lunch. Andrew always used to go there, right, with West County? Yeah. And I ordered, you know, on DoorDash, I looked at some of the reviews, and some of the people were like, oh, number 2 is nothing. You know, get the number 3. And there was quite a few people that said number 2 is weak, and I was like, all right, I'll do number 3. And I was melting. It was so hot. I was like, oh my God, why do I listen to reviews? I should have just trusted my gut and went number 2.
Work your way up.
Oh my God, Chuck's is amazing. Chuck's is good. All right, so I have to ask you this. Do you have gluten-free options?
We do not.
Okay. Are you
We have
working on that?
No, we have more flour particles everywhere.
Oh, okay. You
It
can't.
is,
Just cross-contamination.
We go through, probably 500 pounds of flour a week.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, I have flour everywhere.
Do you have the big mixing?
We do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I used to work in a bakery a long time ago, and making dough's actually pretty fun.
It is.
Like grabbing it out.
Yep.
It's actually a pretty fun time.
Yeah. I mean, day after day after day
Yeah,
is a little relentless, but
that's true.
you know, it's you need a separate kitchen to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So
And so for that reason alone, doesn't make sense.
Yep.
Cinnamon rolls.
we do. We're like the Canes. We just do kolaches.
There we
That's
go.
it. That's enough.
Fair enough. So that's why you don't do cinnamon rolls as well.
Well, we do cinnamon rolls.
You do cinnamon?
We do cinnamon rolls. Yeah, but that's
Okay.
yeah. I should have brought you one of those.
I didn't know. I
Yeah.
thought I looked on the menu and I
Yeah.
didn't see it.
No.
I don't know. I'm blind then. So you do have cinnamon rolls.
We do.
Because I know at first I believe you didn't. Correct.
No, we've always had them.
Always had them.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
So let me ask you about the food truck. Now you said you guys did have it obviously before COVID. You said it was a pain in the ass. So let me ask you, why is it the pain in the ass? Because I feel like a lot of people are told before you start like an actual restaurant to have a food truck, right? That's kind of like I don't know. Maybe I'm just hearing the wrong shit, but that's
it's just
investment, I guess, is less to get in.
it is.
Yeah.
It is. It's just we Bart and I always have a saying: is the money to grief ratio worth it?
Sure.
And it was always with the food truck, it was always we're a morning spot,
Mhm.
so we'd have to be at we'd have to have people there at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Make the extra stuff at one of the stores to get on the food truck,
Mhm.
get it downtown,
Mhm.
in traffic. And then if somebody was late or didn't show up or
Mhm.
your driver's license gets suspended or
Yeah.
it breaks down, down in Manchester and you got to get it towed, it just was, it was just hassle after hassle.
Yeah, I guess it's that is true. Just the breaking down, flat tire. I mean, that
Yeah.
kills thousands of dollars for that
It does.
day.
Yeah.
And
Well, that's thousands of dollars of profit.
Yeah.
Probably took you a couple weeks to make.
exactly. Yeah, because I forget who we had on. We were talking about profit margins in the restaurant business, and I was like, "That's insane." Because usually we, like at our marketing company, we don't really work with a lot of restaurants. We're so, like I kind of said, home service and like law firms and things like that, where the profit margin is usually significantly higher than what restaurants are, which was crazy to me. I always knew it was low, but I forget what he said, like 3 or 5%. I mean,
Yeah.
it's pretty minuscule at the end of the day.
Could be on what you make.
Yeah.
Your barbecue place and you're paying a ton for like brisket and pork up through the roof. And,
Yeah.
bacon. I mean, it's,
How have you guys had to deal with like food costs? Has it affected you a bunch?
Yeah. I mean, eggs were a silly price,
Mhm.
Still are.
Yeah, I guess you
even
need eggs,
though
yeah.
real eggs have gone down in price, liquid eggs haven't come down near as much.
Okay.
Hardly at all, actually. I think a lot of these people have kept the prices inflated just because, like, we're getting it, so why lower it?
Well, yeah, that was what everyone was saying about as far as like construction costs were concerned and buying stuff from Home Depot. I remember wood and all that stuff went through the roof. A lot of that stuff I don't think it's really come back down, even though the supply is back for the most part.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was having a conversation with someone and they're like, once that price is up, why would they drop it back down?
Yeah.
You're used to already paying that
Yep.
price. And I was like, oof, thinking
And-
about that.
and people are paying it.
Yeah.
I mean, my God, you go to, like I said, going back to Chick-fil-A. I mean,
Mhm.
get a Chick-fil-A meal is like $13-14.
Yeah. Yeah. You go to McDonald's, it's $10.
Yeah.
That's also why I don't know. I don't eat. I try not to eat like any fast food. I don't know why you'd want to go to like McDonald's and spend $12 and not just go to like a spot up the street that's local
Mhm.
that you can get some food for like $12 or $14.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously drive-through is nice. It takes 5 minutes or whatever to get McDonald's.
That's
but
what
it's
people
like,
know.
Yeah.
Hey there, St. Louis podcast listeners. We've got some exciting news from our sponsor, Farmers Insurance of St. Louis, led by the man, the myth, the legend, Mark Lee. Mark Lee of Farmers Insurance is recruiting agency owners here in St. Louis.
That's right, Garrett, and everyone knows what Farmers Insurance is, and if they don't, they will now.
Yes, it's kind of a household name. That said, as many of you know, a large part of our audience is made up of badass business owners, entrepreneurs, and top producing sales professionals with an open mind like yourself. Farmers Insurance is currently searching for driven individuals who aspire to own their own business or already own their own business and want to add another income stream to join the Farmers Insurance brand and own their own insurance agency.
This is a stellar opportunity to build your own insurance agency from scratch, take over an existing agency, or if you're just a slow roller, we know you the guys out there and ladies, get paid to train under an existing successful agency owner before starting your own.
Holy shit, Eric. That means that whether you have experience as a business owner or you've never heard the word business before in your life, there's a pathway to owning your own business through Farmers Insurance Agency led by Mark Lee.
That's right. You can become a Farmers Insurance business owner even if you've been homeless in the past, just like you.
Yeah, thanks.
If you've ever dreamt of being your own boss, building a team under a reputable brand, and making a difference in your community by offering top-tier auto, home, and commercial insurance to consumers and businesses in your area, Farmers Insurance of St. Louis, led by the godlike man himself, Mark Lee, has the perfect opportunity for you.
Visit insurancecareerstl.com to speak with Mark Lee, the district manager of Farmers Insurance of St. Louis, to become a Farmers Insurance Agency owner today.
Did you hear that, St. Louis? Go visit insurancecareerstl.com. Insurancecareerstl.com. That is INSURANCE, career, CAREERSTL.com.
To become a business owner today, again, one more time, visit insurancecareerstl, as in St. Louis.com today. Right now, this second, or reach out to us at stlouispodcast.com and we'll introduce you to Mark Lee ourselves. And I promise he won't spell out insurance and career to you.
Now back to the show.
I mean, when you're laying on the couch and it's just McDonald's commercial,
Yeah.
Dunkin' commercial, Starbucks commercial,
Yep.
Chick-fil-A commercial, they just beat it in your head.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm glad I don't watch TV. Netflix doesn't have ads. I have YouTube Premium, so I don't see ads there. Spotify Premium, so I don't really see ads besides Google ads. So I actually don't see a lot of
yeah.
I don't see a lot of the mainstream ads at all,
And the kids,
which is nice.
And
to
the
be
kids
honest.
get it.
Yeah.
The kids get it. The kids are sitting there watching TV and McDonald's is on.
Yeah.
And, Starbucks is on. And,
I love to. Yeah, we used to go in there. The kids' toys.
yeah.
Like, dude, the new kids' toy was out. I was on Instagram yesterday and I saw this 90s nostalgic page. And it had all the fast food chains from the 90s and the different toys that they released. And I was like, holy shit. I was like, these places used to be amazing. Now they just whatever. Now if you go to McDonald's, you got to worry about someone fighting people. There's so many fight videos of
Over
people.
sweet and sour sauce.
Yeah. McDonald's specifically. I don't know what it is with people at McDonald's getting in fights. I've seen them throwing coffee, the massive coffee things at people. It's just my God. So anyways, all right. So we talked about the benefits of the franchisee, kind of going back to that. I wanted to ask you, what are really the biggest challenges with franchising? Because I know I know two people really well right now that are essentially franchising their place. They just had, they have all the agreements in place now and they're starting to franchise. What are some of the challenges maybe that they will go through that they should be on the lookout for?
The number of people that you talk to
Mm-hmm.
before somebody engages
Mm-hmm.
is, I think there's 4,000 franchises in the
Yep.
country, 300 new ones that come on every year.
Okay.
And I think 15,000 people that buy a franchise every year.
Gotcha.
So,
okay.
you get a lot of, there's a lot of competition.
Mm-hmm.
I think it says you'll talk to 200 people before you sell one franchise.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of knocking on,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of window shopping,
Yep.
and you'll go through talking to them 2 or 3 times and then they'll just ghost you.
Yeah. So just like sales in real life.
Yeah. Yeah. It's breaks of the game.
Yeah.
That's, the breaks of the game.
Okay.
That's really, that's really the big thing.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to keep an eye on your product.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on the stores. We're in our local stores all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So those are easy to keep an eye on.
Sure.
Alabama, we go down every couple of months, do a secret shop.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let them know we're coming.
Yeah.
Surprise, say, hey, we're here.
Now, do you guys go down yourselves for the secret shop?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes. So we have a training manager that
Got
trains
it.
everybody, and she usually goes down.
I feel like you'd have to
And,
put on a disguise to go down there.
No, usually she knows when to slip in.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
not gonna say.
Sure,
In case
sure.
they listen to this.
Sure, maybe
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
makes sense.
I don't want to give any trade secrets out, but
Yeah, okay, okay. So training and support for franchises. The reason I'm kind of asking these questions, I've always been curious about franchising because we've, obviously we own a marketing company. We also own a insulation company, West County Insulation. So and we work with a lot of franchises as well, really more, again, on the home service side of things. So it's always just interesting to kind of see how people go through this process. So with, how about if I am the person looking to purchase a franchise, how should I go through that process? Obviously, you have brokers and things like that you can talk to. Like you said, there's a ton of different franchises to look at. I mean, what are some things you have to say about that?
The process is usually when somebody has an interest, they'll call me,
Mm-hmm.
and if you can get in touch with that person again,
Sure.
and have a intro hour-long conversation
Mhm.
usually, and get a good feeling on them right from there. At that point, we invite them to St. Louis
Got it.
for a visit. Take them around to the stores, introduce the product to them. A lot of people already know about the product.
Sure,
A lot of people
yeah.
have been through town and tried them. It's
Mhm.
like, go back to town, and be like, man, there's nothing here like that. We'd love that. So, we've got several referrals like that. The business brokers are great. Those are people that are selling
Yeah.
selling for you, comes at a
Mhm.
high price.
Mm-hmm.
But they'll take a handful of businesses that they really like and represent those businesses. We do a couple deals together, then they'll know, hey, this is a great guys to deal with right here. If you're interested in the food business, we suggest this.
Mm-hmm.
If you're interested in the home service business, we
Sure.
recommend this place to you. So, but generally, getting people in town, walking them through the stores, seeing how they interact, seeing the questions they ask.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of the process. It gives you a good feel. You could pretty much tell meeting somebody face to face, and get a good feeling on them
Gotcha.
right away if
Gotcha.
they have a genuine interest in it.
Makes sense.
And if they're coming all the way to St. Louis for a visit and they live out
They're
of state,
probably interested.
they're probably interested.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like I
that's-
said, we just had some people from Virginia, and they loved it. Just about anybody that comes in and sees the operation face to face is like, wow, this place is really efficient.
That's
It's kind of impressive thing to see,
Well,
whole kitchen and everybody's just doing their own thing and it's all getting done.
I like the scene in The Founder. You ever seen The Founder? What's his name? It's talking about the founder of McDonald's. So
Okay.
there's a scene where
Ray Kroc, yeah.
Yeah, yep, Ray Kroc, yep. So there's a scene where he is watching all of the employees move around the original McDonald's location and how everything was set up from, essentially a person didn't have to move.
Yeah.
It was their station, it got handed to them. And it was like mind-blowing to Ray Kroc, right? So he studied it and like they explained the whole process that they did. Like they went and obviously I'm sure some of it's fictionalized, but essentially went to a basketball court, outlined everything with chalk, and did this for days to determine the best way to essentially organize a kitchen, how to move everything around, which is crazy. Because it doesn't seem like I'm sure most franchises are like that now, though. I mean, you got to be as efficient as possible. But back then,
Yeah. Well, the ones that can.
yeah,
I mean, to do that process is a huge undertaking.
sure.
Your big people like Chick-fil-A. I mean, they've got it down to a science for labor and
Yep.
and everything. A lot of these people that start franchises are small like us.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have $1 million
Yeah.
to do a study.
Mm-hmm.
On how many times you circle the flour cart in the
Sure,
kitchen.
sure.
But maybe someday. I mean, it seems like every year we get better, more
Mhm.
efficient.
Mm-hmm.
COVID really taught us that you could work more with less of a staff.
Yeah.
When you had to.
Mm-hmm.
So we learned a lot from working more efficiently, smarter, better.
Sure. Sure.
But yeah, it's a beautiful. In any restaurant, it's beautiful to go see it, especially when you have restaurants that have open kitchens,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
and you can just see everybody do their thing. It's beautiful.
I always liked that restaurant, Elmwood.
Yeah.
You remember that
Yep.
in Maplewood?
Yep.
The open kitchen there was always really cool because it was
Yep.
like completely open with the full glass.
Yeah.
And that place didn't make it for very long. probably COVID probably took that place out.
Possibly,
I would think.
yeah. Yeah.
But Elmwood was always cool. Any place like that where you can actually watch them cook, you get like the smell coming
Yeah.
essentially right there from the kitchen. It's nothing better.
It's beautiful to watch somebody good cook.
Yes.
I mean, how they handle the pan and the
Mhm.
whisk. It's just like, man, I don't look like that.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not a chef.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. So, so I did want to ask you about, as far as the brand is concerned, we talked about this earlier, American Kolache. So how'd you determine to go from St. Louis to American? Were there any other names in the running? I'm just curious.
Not really. Our brand is we do American classic comfort food
Mhm.
stuffed in a bun.
Gotcha.
We take all the American classics. Bacon and eggs, sausage
Mhm.
and gravy, Philly cheesesteak, meatball, pizza, mac and cheese and bacon.
Yep.
So it kind of just fit that, American classic comfort food, American Kolache.
Yes, that
So,
does. That makes sense.
yeah.
Are there any other Kolache franchises?
Oh, there are.
There are, okay.
There's Kolache Factory, which has a location here.
Okay.
I think they have 60 locations or so down in the
Okay,
Houston area, down through the south.
Katie, you ever been there? No. Have you ever heard of it? Yeah.
Yeah. My buddy owns a place called the Kolache Shop
Okay.
down in Houston too.
Mm-hmm.
They are franchising down there as well. They do more of a big coffee bar,
Gotcha.
barista type stuff.
Okay.
I don't have time for that.
Yeah. So do you guys usually go to you sell out, or you usually sell out after lunch? Because I know you guys usually.
It's so hard to tell.
Mhm.
There's days when I have 100 left over.
Yeah.
There's days like Sunday where I'm, closed at 1:15.
Sure.
And I'm getting a 1-star review because I'm
Because
sold
I'm
out.
closed.
You can't.
You gotta
win.
love those people.
You can't. Oh, yeah.
It says open till 2.
The drive-by 1 stars. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so funny about people will 1-star the hell out of you if you're a small business, but you get screwed over by corporation and whatever.
Yeah,
I'll be back tomorrow.
We just expect that.
Yeah.
You just expect to go to McDonald's and your order's going to be screwed up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tried to get an unsweetened tea at McDonald's 3 times, through 3 visits and couldn't for my wife. Every time, sweet tea. I mean, God, it's just, you just expect it.
Yeah.
It's a surprise if it's right.
Yeah, that is true. That
Yeah.
is true. It used to be just the glory days of when it just seemed like everything ran a little bit better back in the day. I don't know. I don't know what happened. Do people just not care at some of the places now? It's just employees don't care.
if I could tell you how hard it is to hire people,
Mm-hmm.
and it's rough.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't even tell you the stories.
Yeah.
It's just people that come in and work 2 or 3 hours and say they're going to go out to get their phone charger.
Yeah, and then never
Gone.
come back. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I'm taking
You know?
lunch.
Yeah.
Never
yeah,
come back.
Yeah. I'm going to show up tomorrow morning to start, text them 3 times. You don't even do interviews anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, interviews are things of the past. It's like you hire everybody through text.
Yeah.
We'll hire 4, see if any of them show up,
Yep.
and work from there.
Yeah. It's a nightmare.
It is.
It's a nightmare.
Service is rough, and like I said, and then you take a beating for it. If God forbid somebody doesn't say hello fast enough or
Yeah.
something,
Yeah.
it's like, man, do you know the trouble I had to get just to have somebody stand up here?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
rough.
So, okay. Yes, 100%. Yeah, we have that, we have that issue at West County Insulation as well with staffing there and hiring a team, even though we pay pretty damn well.
It's not a pay thing. It's
I don't-
everywhere.
yeah.
I took my car across the street to Lou Fuse.
Mm-hmm.
That's right across from the Storm Creek Court.
Yeah.
It's like, we can't get you in until next week because we only got 2 guys that'll change oil.
Yeah.
We used to have like 7.
Yep.
like-
Well, I still don't know where all these people went.
No
I
idea.
feel like every, probably once a month we talk about in the pod. It's just like, where did all of these people go? They didn't die.
They work a couple days, week or 2,
Yeah.
and then quit.
Yeah.
I mean, when I look at people's resumes off the website we use,
Mm-hmm.
I call them job hoppers.
Yeah.
It's like,
4 months
maybe
here.
they had
Yeah.
they had like 5 jobs in 2022.
Yeah, yeah. That's insane.
It is.
There is something nice about going to work for a place for, a couple. It's almost like going to work for a place for like 3 to 6 months. It's like, why? Unless it's a part-time gig or something like that, you're in school or whatever. But like if you're looking for a full-time job and you only give it 2-3 months, it's like, what's the point? It takes forever to, I don't know, interviewing is just a pain in the ass. Not only for the business owners, but for the person being interviewed as well. So it's like, why go through all the trouble?
Oh, it's
insane.
It's a large majority of the day just hiring people.
Yeah.
About 1,000 texts and
yep.
It's crazy.
So how do you help your franchisees out with that? Is there anything that you can
Well,
lend
I
them?
just tell them the process. They got to go through the same. It's everywhere. It's countrywide.
Yeah.
It isn't just a St. Louis thing.
Yep.
I mean, it's
So that you see the same thing in Texas and doesn't matter.
Same thing in Alabama. And
yeah.
Same thing in Illinois. Yeah. It's the same everywhere.
You would think maybe smaller towns would be better or something, but
it has gotten better in
Yeah.
the last year.
yeah.
Man, when the government was just whipping money out left and right,
Mhm.
it was rough.
Yep.
But we made it. I mean, there are great people, and we've got great staffs. People have been with us for years. It's just always that bottom 10% that just
Yeah. Kill you.
works a couple days, work
Yep.
a week, and then gone.
Those people, well, number one, they probably don't care, but don't realize just how much that fucking ruins like days,
Yeah.
weeks, months, years of time for business owners, hirees.
Yeah. And then
all
they'll
those
just go
people.
down the street and work somewhere else
Yeah.
for a week or two, and then call me back and say, hey,
Mhm.
can I have my job back?
I've always said, it's probably gonna get me in trouble. I'm like, why isn't there like an Indeed thing where I can like report someone just for sucking? You know what I mean? Like, dude, like black flag this employee. And obviously you can still hire him, but just so you know, this guy worked here and he sucked.
Yeah.
She sucked. Here's X, Y, and Z the reason why, and maybe you shouldn't hire him because of that.
What do you want? Like a Yelp for people? Like you just
Kind
find
of.
this person's
Man,
name,
that
like,
could
bad.
be
Kind of.
that could be the next big thing.
Kind of, yes, kind of. Why? All right, maybe that's getting a little bit Big Brother-ish, I guess. But also, why not? Like that would save business owners so much time. If
Might
they
be easier to put the list together of good people. Be a lot shorter.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yes, I was going to say,
yeah,
the
yeah.
list of bad is going to be much longer than the list of good. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Discrimination, Probably.
What?
They probably because it's discrimination to list out the bad employees and mix them away from the good ones.
Yeah.
You
yeah.
know, there's someone out there. Who's
I'm
so
sure there's
happy.
I'm sure there's some employee regulation or something that's against that. All right, don't get me in trouble. Don't get me in trouble. All right, so at Kolache, what's your favorite? Which one?
Sloppy Joe.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
my aunt's recipe. It's a 60-year-old recipe. And
It's your aunt's recipe.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's not Manwich.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where'd your aunt get the recipe from? Is it hers originally or was
Hers
it passed
originally.
down?
It's just something she came up with, and when we opened
Interesting.
the place, she goes, "Here, the Sloppy Joe will be great in there." And it was, as a young kid say, fire,
Yeah. Yeah.
or as they used to say.
I used to love Sloppy Joe as a kid.
It's still great.
I don't know. I haven't had it in a long
Yeah.
time. Now that you've said Sloppy Joe, I'm like, holy shit, that sounds amazing. My mom used to make actually a pretty good Sloppy Joe. And I think it's sometimes you grow up and then you're like, why are you making the Sloppy Joe? This is just sloppy. 'Cause it's literally just putting it onto the bun.
Well, so you can eat it nice and neat in a Kolache.
Yeah.
Man,
Ooh, yeah, that's
you
true,
have
yeah.
people that love the stuff so much. We had to change ground beef maybe 6 months ago for a short time. Oh, and people went ballistic. What happened to Sloppy Joe? I mean, it wasn't even like 2 days into it. Yeah, but yeah, no, it's awesome. Sloppy Joe is great.
So do you guys find yourselves having fans like Katie over here for your Kolaches?
We do.
Yeah.
We do. I mean, I talking about inventing new kolaches and trying to get them on the shelf.
Mm-hmm.
I really need to take something off.
Yeah.
But then if I do, I get beat down for it. It's like, where did that go? Where did that go?
Yep.
I still got the guy that sends me. We did a slinger a few years back. It was really good. But it was one of our lowest sellers, so it had to move.
Yeah.
And I still got this guy that sends me the little meme of the skeleton sitting on the park bench saying, "This is me waiting for Slinger to come back." I was like, man, I can't get it back on the shelf.
Have you ever thought about doing like a monthly one? Just change,
Yeah,
like
but
bring some of those in and out?
We do seasonal.
Yeah,
Like
sure.
the crab rangoon comes back for Lent, and
Sure.
that's probably one of our biggest one that people get excited for.
Sure, yeah.
To come back. But we do the turkey and dressing and gravy.
Okay.
We do the St. Patty's Day
Mhm.
corned beef and cabbage with the horseradish.
Mm-hmm.
We do some fun ones through the year. It's just it's a lot of process to get all the stores to all switch it out just for that short of time. We've got about 5 or 6 new things possibly.
Yeah.
But like I
okay.
said, then I got to drop off something, and
Yeah.
it's hard to drop anything off. Because like I said, what do you drop off?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they're all good.
Yeah.
You got Pappy's, brisket, and pork, and joyous hot salami.
That's what I was gonna say.
The popper, the ham and cheese. I mean, it's
How'd you get connected with those guys?
Well, we were lucky enough to that one of Bart's friends knew Mike Emerson
Okay.
before Mike
Okay.
left out of town.
Yeah.
And we brought him down there, and he tasted them. He goes, "Man, these things are great," because we'd love to do it, which was awesome for us. He's an awesome guy. And Pappy's is 5-star. Unbelievable. Ribs are crazy.
Oh my God.
Crazy good.
I had some unbelievable ribs this weekend.
Yeah. We had wanted to do something with Sugar Fire too. But man, that guy is so good that he's so busy. He was always, I'd call him and he'd be like, "I'm in Australia. I'll call you there." Just could never get a hold of him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just so
fair
busy.
enough.
But that's another great operation is High Point and Sugar Fire.
Yeah.
Charlie Downs is one of the people, one of my mentors, I call him, that I call him all the time and
Yeah.
ask him for advice.
So there's actually, I think we maybe talked about this a couple months ago. I used to love the one out in Wentzville, the Sugar Fire. And I don't know, maybe it's just like my love for Sugar Fire went away, or there's just so many barbecue places now. But when they started expanding more quickly, it seemed like they lost some of like that. I don't know. The Wentzville location is still good, but I lived by the one out in 141 and 44. It's just, I don't know. It just doesn't hit the same. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. It's a tough game.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm one of those people where I leave the 1-star. I never have, though.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Yeah. Give somebody a chance to fix the problem.
Yes.
Before you 1-star.
100%.
Because most good places will want to fix your mistake. If we make a mistake, man, we'll bend over backwards to fix it for you.
Yeah. That's one thing. Why don't people, when they have an issue at a restaurant, a lot of people don't even bring it up. Why is that? Why are they afraid?
A lot of people don't like confrontation, for one. But the thing that aggravates me is somebody will 1-star you. It's like the lady of the day. Okay, I had to close at 1:15 because we sold out.
Yeah.
Okay? It takes an hour and a half to make these things. So by the time I came back when we're running low, to turn the ovens on, get dough workable.
Yeah.
To make, it would be pointless to come all the way back to do that. So she 1-stars us, and I wrote a reply to the review back, said, "Hey, sorry for your inconvenience.
Yeah.
I get it. Email me.
Yep.
And we'll treat you on the next visit."
Nothing.
Never gonna hear it.
Yeah, I don't.
Just
I'll send you a link afterwards. By the way, you can probably get that down. You can probably get that review removed if you want.
Yeah. Just it's like I
send
said,
you a link.
if we deserve a 1-star for something, it happens.
At
Sometimes
least
you get counter people in a bad mood or something, and are not as friendly and polite. I try.
Yeah.
I try, but we'll fix it. If you have a bad experience, man, I'd love the chance to fix it.
Yeah, I've been with people, like actually recently, within the past month or two, I was out with a group of people and we were at a restaurant and they apparently screwed up this chick's order I was with, and she didn't say anything, and for the whole rest of the day bitched about it. And I'm like, I literally told her multiple times, I'm not going to tell the waitress for you. This is like a group of like 10 people. Like, say something if you don't like it. Never said anything and bitched about it all day. And I was like, unbelievable.
It happens.
Just I
mean, mistakes happen. Sometimes we box stuff wrong. We grab the wrong one when it's busy.
Yeah.
It happens.
Well, I learned. We probably talked about this like 6 months ago. We talked about Citizen Cane's earlier. I was there a while ago and didn't get the best steak on the planet, and I didn't say anything about it, and I still kick myself to this day.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I should have just said something.
Yeah.
But at the time, I didn't want to.
Yeah.
I don't know. Confrontation.
Yeah.
It's always like, are they going to hate me if I say
Yeah.
Could I get another
Chef's
one?
gonna give you the mean
Are
look
they-
back
yeah,
there.
are they gonna hate- yeah,
it's
they're
just like
like,
the days
"Who?
of Morton's when you like
Who
bring
the
the steak back and it's overcooked.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. That's no.
You
that's
get the look from the guys in the kitchen.
That's
Yeah,
yeah. That's my thing. Especially with like a steak. I know that's expensive.
Yeah.
It's like, ugh,
Yeah.
man. But
But you know, good restaurants want to provide you, you know, the service and
Yes.
the food that you pay for.
Yes.
You know, that's how you become successful.
mm-hmm.
And you can't fix something you don't know about.
Yep.
You know, the sad part about it is most people that are disgruntled will never say anything.
Yes.
And never give me the chance to fix it.
Yep.
And I don't want you walking out of any of our stores and having a bad experience. You know, something happens, let me know.
Yep.
You know, I'll 100% fix it for you.
Well, at least like message us on Facebook, or you can message on Google now
Yeah.
before leaving the 1-star.
Yeah.
Just be like, hey, X, Y, and Z.
They don't.
They'd rather just
And if you go to look at the reviews, most all those people give you 1 stars. They, hit everybody else with 31 stars for something. They're mad at Starbucks and they're mad at CVS and
Yep. There almost needs to be a Google algorithm to see that all this person does is leave 1 stars.
Yeah.
Maybe this
Yeah.
is not a credible review.
Yep.
But then also they'd probably look at mine and be like, why does this guy only leave 5 stars?
Yeah.
Because I help out businesses. That's right. All right. So before we get out of here, I wanted to ask, what's your advice for someone who is considering opening a restaurant or is opening a restaurant? What are a few things that they should do that a lot of them don't do, or a few things that they should follow, a few things to keep in mind?
I would say I've always been an entrepreneurial spirit.
Mm-hmm.
I've always had dreams of opening my own restaurants,
Yep.
and the same way with Bart. We've always wanted to open the steakhouse and,
Mhm.
and do the big things. And if I get out of the Kolache business at some point, my wife would probably kill me, but I'd probably open up something else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just for the fact because I love the game.
Yep.
And I think most people that are in the restaurant business love the game. Like I said, to me, it's my passion. I go home and watch, Food Network and Cooking Channel with my kids.
Sure,
Sure. Just because I like.
Yeah.
My wife goes to the shoe section. I want to go to the kitchen section.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
just play with whisk and spatulas and and things like that. So but if you have the dream, then do it.
Mm-hmm.
But learn the proper steps. Learn from good people.
Yeah.
A lot of the good people that have opened up restaurants around town, have learned from the best. Don't go in and work, for 6 months as a line cook and think I can go in and open a restaurant.
Yeah.
I could make these omelets, better than, anybody else.
Mhm.
Cause there's so much more to the business side of it.
Yep.
In a lot of these places will take you under their wing and teach
I was
you.
going to say, are a lot
If-
of these people open to teaching?
Man, if you've got some, if you've got the I don't know how you say it. If you've got the in you to
Yeah.
want to learn,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the drive,
Mm-hmm.
man, people will love to teach you. There's been so many great chefs that have spawned off from Gerard Craft's restaurants,
Mm-hmm.
and other big chefs in town, Lou Rooks and stuff like that. They'll teach you. They'll teach you the business. If somebody came up to me and said, "Hey, I'd like to own one of these franchises in town,"
Mm-hmm.
come with me.
Yeah.
I'll teach you everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Would love for you to be a success. That's one of the big things. Bart and I still keep in touch with some of the kids that worked with us at Cecil's through the years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And nothing makes me happier than when they're success. One of them's a big fireman in Clayton. One went into the Navy. A bunch of them are really successful people, and that's your employees are really, a lot of them become your family
Yeah.
because they're with you so many years.
8
and
hours
you're
a
with
day,
them through
yeah.
through the ups and downs, and they call you for favors when
Mhm.
life crisis happen, and it's great to be able to help these people. And you become invested
Yep.
in some of their lives. I've got kids that were started with me at 16 that are now 32, 33 years old with kids, and it's awesome that they still call me
Yeah.
and say I was the best boss they ever had.
We've only been around for 7 years, but that's that is something that will be exciting when we get to that point where we've been around for that long and
Yeah.
have a stat like with that is crazy. I've never really thought about it because it's
It
like
is. I mean, I've seen the transformation. These people from
yeah,
like high school sophomores
yeah,
to
yeah,
now being moms and dads and firemen, and it's just that's the cool part about it. Nothing would make me happier than to make you more successful.
yeah,
Than me. Become more successful than me. I would love it.
yep,
I'll teach you. But you got to have it in you to want to do it, and you got to have it in for the hard work.
yeah.
The restaurant business is not an easy business.
No, I don't think anyone's ever said it is.
Being your own boss is not an easy part because you go to bed with all the headaches.
Yep.
When you're a 9 to 5er, you clock out and it's like, well, I'm not worrying about anything till 8:55 tomorrow.
I would love to sleep like a person that has a 9 to 5.
Man, it's just it's a lot of stress, and
Yeah.
and not only do I have the stress of my corporate stores, but now I've got the stress of you giving me your money
Yep.
and putting your trust in me
Yep.
to be successful. That was one of the big things. It's like, that's like an honor for you to be like, you know what, I like you guys. We want to invest in you as a new franchise, and we're going to work hard to be the best for you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
It's not going to be all good days,
Mhm.
but you can call me at 10 o'clock at night and I'm here if you won't need to talk. If you need me to help you come make kolaches at 1 o'clock in the morning, I'll come help you.
Yeah.
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 I mean,
I love that.
I still wash dishes and help people when the stores are short staffed, and don't get too big and high and mighty, because the high and mighty come falling very quickly.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I used to wash dishes at that bakery. Let me tell you, I'd come in at they usually, I guess they usually got there like 1 or 2 a.m. I don't know how early they got there. I'd get there at like 5 or 6 a.m. though and start cleaning. And, it'd be the sink with the industrial sink, 4 different sinks, and they'd be, piled with stuff. And I'd be like, oh, baby, here we go. Because I don't know what it is. Every place I worked, I always washed dishes. There's always start there.
Yeah.
There's bakery, bread co. There's other places I'm missing. Always washing dishes is not a bad job. It sucks, but it's not bad.
It's not bad.
It's satisfying
Yeah.
cleaning dishes. I don't know.
It's
in a
scary,
weird
scary
way.
it is.
In a weird way.
I was going to get ready to say, I don't mind doing dishes.
Yeah, neither
but
do
I
I.
don't want to be like the weird one. They're like,
No,
what?
neither do I.
No, it is. It's almost relaxing.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Would you rather be on the line cooking or washing dishes?
I'd rather
No.
washing dishes some days.
Yeah.
The line is stressful,
Yes. Yeah.
especially depending on what kind of chef you're working for.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So chef movies, are they realistic? Have you seen Burnt?
I haven't.
Okay.
I haven't. We were talking about a couple chef
Yeah.
movies, but working for a couple different chefs in my day, man, they're rough.
Yeah. I miss Anthony Bourdain because I used to love watching his shows.
Yeah. Just the voice and the whole
Yeah.
charisma.
Yeah.
Is,
And he knew so much about food, so
Yeah.
it was awesome when he went to a different country and would talk about it.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
yeah. I worked for I've worked for some great people,
Mhm.
and I've worked for some horrible people.
Yeah.
Not going to name any names, but man,
Drop them now. No.
I worked for a guy who was a big chef in town. I worked for him one day,
That's
and
all
that
it
was
took.
it. He was so mean. Yeah.
Why are some of them?
I don't.
What's with the vibe of some of these? Like they're portrayed as just like, yes, chef. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh,
Back in the Al Baker's days, the chef wasn't mean, but it was quiet. It
Really?
was quiet back in
Really?
he was the only one to talk in the kitchen. That line was run 100% serious, and he had a big meat cleaver. And when you were back there yapping, he'd smack that meat cleaver on the rail, and you knew time to shut it.
Interesting.
Yeah, but there's a lot going on back there.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
and the only person that needs to be talking back there is him.
Yeah.
Asking if this is on, if that's on, if this is ready.
That's wild.
That's it. Yeah, but it was quiet.
That makes a ton of sense, though.
It does.
That makes a ton of sense.
You're running a serious big kitchen.
Yeah.
It's not Cecil's.
Yeah. The only person that has earbuds in is the dishwasher.
Yeah.
That's why it's nice to be the dishwasher.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, we didn't have earbuds back in those
Yeah,
days.
that's it. You got the speaker booming in the back.
We were still cassette taping back in those
Yeah,
days.
there we go. There we go. All right. So last question. Any plans for the future? Any other business ideas you got cooking?
Right now we're just expanding the Kolache place. Like I
Mhm.
said, we're looking at going to a couple different locations here in the Midwest, possibly DC, Indianapolis, O'Fallon, Illinois. So really just looking to keep expanding franchise wise
Gotcha.
right now.
Cool. Well, before we get out of here, anything you want people to go follow you on? Visit, obviously, STL Kolache. We got how many locations now here in St. Louis?
Around St. Louis, we have 8.
8 locations here in
eight
St. Louis.
locations.
There's one conveniently located, I'm sure, right by
We're
you.
pretty close to everywhere.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So check us out at stlkolache.com. Franchise information is on there under franchising. We do kick-ass catering. We've catered for Nashville Predators, Colorado Avalanche,
Yeah.
catered the PGA Championship. So, we're like the kings of breakfast catering.
Can we got anyone to cater for Friday for our event? I don't know if we can bring food into Topgolf. I'd rather not eat Topgolf food. All right. Anyways. All right. Perfect. Well, it was a pleasure,
Yeah.
Russ. Thank you
Appreciate you guys
thank you
having
for
us.
stopping in. Yeah, definitely. Always love talking to St. Louis owners that are, building good businesses here. Again, go visit one of his locations. As you can see, we got a full lunch here ahead of us, which I'm excited for. Let me scroll down here to see what we got to read. All right, before we wrap up today's episode, just kidding. That's all the time we have for today. However, the St. Louis podcast will be back next week at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time with a new episode, new guests, and unfortunately, more of myself. If you're watching live or later and we said something wrong, said something you hate, or said something you want to hear more about, you can visit us at thestlouispodcast.com and leave us a message telling us all about it. Finally, this episode was recorded at Half Coast Studios. Shout out Matt back there and Alex Dietrich. If you're looking to host a podcast or start a podcast, or even if you're remote looking to have someone mix that podcast for you, reach out to them here at halfcoaststudios.com. Again, pleasure speaking with you today, Russ, and a pleasure hosting this podcast for the people of St. Louis. We'll see you next week. Thank you.
Hey there, St. Louis podcast listeners. We've got some exciting news from our sponsor, Farmers Insurance of St. Louis, led by the man, the myth, the legend, Mark Lee. Mark Lee of Farmers Insurance is recruiting agency owners here in St. Louis.
That's right, Garrett, and everyone knows what Farmers Insurance is, and if they don't, they will now.
Yes, it's kind of a household name. That said, as many of you know, a large part of our audience is made up of badass business owners, entrepreneurs, and top producing sales professionals with an open mind like yourself. Farmers Insurance is currently searching for driven individuals who aspire to own their own business or already own their own business and want to add another income stream to join the Farmers Insurance brand and own their own insurance agency.
This is a stellar opportunity to build your own insurance agency from scratch, take over an existing agency, or if you're just a slow roller, we know you, the guys out there and ladies, get paid to train under an existing successful agency owner before starting your own.
Holy shit, Eric. That means that whether you have experience as a business owner or you've never heard the word business before in your life, there's a pathway to owning your own business through Farmers Insurance Agency led by Mark Lee.
That's right. You can become a Farmers Insurance business owner even if you've been homeless in the past, just like you.
Yeah, thanks.
If you've ever dreamt of being your own boss, building a team under a reputable brand, and making a difference in your community by offering top-tier auto, home, and commercial insurance to consumers and businesses in your area, Farmers Insurance of St. Louis, led by the godlike man himself, Mark Lee, has the perfect opportunity for you.
Visit insurancecareerstl.com to speak with Mark Lee, the district manager of Farmers Insurance of St. Louis, to become a Farmers Insurance agency owner today.
Did you hear that, St. Louis? Go visit insurancecareerstl.com. Insurancecareerstl.com. That is INSURANCE, career, CAREERSTL.com.
To become a business owner today, again, one more time, visit insurancecareerstl, as in St. Louis.com today. Right now, this second, or reach out to us at stlouispodcast.com and we'll introduce you to Mark Lee ourselves. And I promise he won't spell out insurance and career to you.